There's going to be, some works on this program which are known, which have been used many, many times at specifically poignant moments in film, like the Barber Adagio for strings. And then we have the Tchaikovsky Violin Concerto. It was written in 1878. It's one of Tchaikovsky's most beloved works. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention that Vadim Gluzman, who was our soloist, plays the instrument once owned by Leopold Auer, who the concerto was dedicated to. Not bad, huh? Tchaikovsky heard this instrument play that concerto. The first time I performed this concerto with Vadim, it was an emotional experience. And I asked him, I said, could I just touch it? Could I just touch the instrument? I mean, this was before I even heard it, but I knew the story that this instrument Tchaikovsky had heard, and it had performed Tchaikovsky's Violin Concerto. I said, just good. I just want to touch it for a second. And then when it started, when he started to play this concerto, in the beginning of the first movement, I had an overwhelming experience to think that my ears, now hearing this concerto, that the great Peter Ilyich Tchaikovsky too had heard this instrument. I stopped conducting. I couldn't go on. It was just, and I told the orchestra, this was in Germany, I said, can you believe it? We're listening to the same instrument that Tchaikovsky heard. And I remember Vadim, because the last movement was so fast, I'd never accompanied it so fast. Vadim says, I'm sorry, Carl. The instrument only knows one way to play this movement. This is the way it plays the movement, as though the instrument itself had its own life and its own spirit and its own connection to this concerto. So it's two very, very well-known works paired with two works which will be world premieres. Aha! So now we have a challenge. Here comes the challenge. Do and can I accept new pieces that I've never heard before with the same open-mindedness and the same degree of anticipation and expectation that I do the Barber Adagio for strings and the Tchaikovsky Violin Concerto? You have to remember that the Violin Concerto, when it was performed first, back in 1878, you realize what the critics said about that? He said it's hard to imagine that music could actually stink to the ears. Now, what if somebody said that about a dear friend of yours? How would you react? I know how I would react, with disgust, a certain degree of anger. And I'd want to stick up for Tchaikovsky. The question is, who sticks up for Michael Daugherty right now? Well, he's writing a piece about Arturo Toscanini. And then I want to use this organ. You got to agree with me. This organ is unbelievable. It's one of the most incredible Fisk organs that there is. One of the things I've asked Michael to do in writing this piece is to write a piece for organ and non-strings. Now, I don't know what he's going to write, but I just didn't want any strings. So I said, if we do that and we follow it with the Barber Adagio for strings, and then we have a world premiere of a work that is about Arturo Toscanini's days at Radio City during World War II, this will be an incredible combination. And then, of course, after intermission, we will be prepared and really, really ready to hear our beloved Violin Concerto of Tchaikovsky.